Well, Ultra Neko and her brother may have already reviewed this game, but it's time to add some KW flair to my friend's review. Well, people, it's review number 62, Golden Axe, for the Sega Genesis and now the Wii Virtual Console. Let's hop into the story for this game, shall we, folks? Now, there is no official story other than what your characters say at the beginning of the game, and if you're playing as Gilius, then it sounds something like this. Death Adder invaded the castle and has taken the king and princess captive. My good friend Alex was also killed in battle by Death Adder's men. It's my job to save the princess and restore peace and order to this land. It's not a bad impersonation, but concept for this game. The player gets to pick between three characters. We have the beautiful, yet very deadly Amazon princess. We have the very angry, vicious, and brutal dwarf. And finally, we have the barbarian. And for me, the guy looks more like Conan the Barbarian, except he's all blue. But in any case, then you travel through 8 stages to save the king and princess, and to face off against Death Adder and retrieve the Golden Axe. Controls for this game. I'll be explaining the Wiimote controls for this. You move your warrior with the gamepad, and to do a charging run as you just saw, you just double tap forward. You attack with the 1 button, which you'll need to learn to do a lot, and you can also charge and attack at the same time. So just double tap forward and hit the attack button. Moving on to how your character jumps. You jump by simply pressing the 2 button, although for this type of arcade game you can only jump up in the air. However, you can add attacks to your jump, which is very useful, and you have special moves by holding in both the 1 and 2 button at the same time. Now, each character has their own unique moveset. Riding creatures is the same as their regular attack powers. The A button in this game is going to be used for your magical attacks, which, believe me, they come in handy a lot. The dwarf uses lightning, the barbarian uses earth, and of course the Amazon, who is the strongest in this game, uses fire magic, and her final summon is she can summon a dragon, and I absolutely love that move. It is devastating. Alright, time to move on to the design for this game. Now, I would like to do something a little bit different. I want to show you guys how well designed this game really is for being an arcade port. I also dive more into the arcade game for the history part of this review. Now, what you're seeing right now is actually the 1989 arcade version of Golden Axe's Turtle Village. And this, gamers, is Turtle Village on the Sega home consoles in 1989. Incredible attention to detail, right? Did you see how the water was moving down below? It was telling you that you were moving through the water at a very rapid rate, just like in the arcade version. Although I think that the turtle itself has more detail in the arcades, but even so, that's pretty awesome. Now it's time for me to talk about some of my favorite stages. I really liked the woods, Turtle Village, the throne room, and the lair, but wasn't a big fan of the giant bird. But I really liked how the skeletons arise out of the bird's skin. It's pretty creepy. And the castle parts to me seemed pretty bland for the systems, but if you remember in the arcade there was a lot going on in the background. But don't worry, they added to that for Golden Axe 2 for the Sega Genesis, so no worries. I also like how well detailed the enemies, warriors, and the creatures are in this game, especially for when this game was made. The only gripe I have with this game really is the music did not port well. Don't get me wrong, the music was cool and all, but the arcade songs just rocked my face off. They were some of the coolest songs ever. I mean, the main theme is just stuck in the back of my mind. Another part of this game that I liked, I know it's the little things that I tend to like, is the fact that the heroes draw a map of where they've been. It's just kind of cool for me. Sega, you guys did an awesome job with this beautiful arcade port, and I say major props. Alright, time for us to move on to the history. As I mentioned before, Golden Axe first hit the arcades in 1989. Although it was a short game, but for the home consoles, Sega added more levels. But getting back to the arcade. Now, Golden Axe instantly became an arcade classic and a favorite amongst arcade junkies. The story wasn't very deep, though. Each of the warriors had lost a loved one killed by Death Adder, and they were out for revenge. Example, the Amazon lost her mother, the dwarf lost his brother, and the barbarian lost both his mother and father. So nothing really new, although pretty sad. But what's interesting about this game, at least in the arcades, was the death sound effects. Well, what do I mean by that? Did you guys know that the death screams in Golden Axe came from Rambo First Blood and Conan the Adventurer? Well, it's true. When you kill the skeletons, their scream is a scene where Conan smashes his elbow into the stomach of the witch doctor before stealing his robes in order to get into the Doomed Temple. And when you kill regular enemies in the game, their screams came from Rambo First Blood when Rambo's friends are getting killed. Now, have you guys ever wondered who Alex is? You know, the guy who gets killed in the arcades and the one who's mentioned in the Sega systems. Well, Alex is actually Alex the Kid, Sega's unofficial 3-year mascot. Now, Alex the Kid was Mario and Link rolled into one. However, Alex the Kid disappeared after Sega put Sonic the Hedgehog as their official mascot in 1991, and he has been their staple mascot ever since. Now, Golden Axe is a long-standing franchise and very successful for Sega. The Golden Axe series has been in just about all game series from arcades to RPGs and even fighting games. The Golden Axe series has taken many forms over the years, but the series got a remake for the Sega Ages. Sega Ages was 3D remakes of Sega's top-selling franchises. Golden Axe saw a port for the PS2 in 04, aside from touchy graphics. This remake was pretty fun, and I think it's the only type of arcade game that my wife enjoys playing for hours on end. Golden Axe came over to the States in 2006 as part of the Sega Classics collection. Sadly, Sega has decided to make a new Golden Axe game and mature title as that, but Sega be warned, Midway tried that and it didn't work. Golden Axe 1 through 3 are on the Wii Virtual Console. Time for the bad aspect. Time for the rant. Speaking of stages I don't like, let's look at the giant eagle again. What I don't like about it is it doesn't look like you're flying. It looked like the bird was molting with the feathers flying everywhere. Well, the arcade may have ended after a few stages, but not with the home systems. No, in fact, they added more stages, and what's dumb about this is the stages after stage 6 became incredibly, not just tedious, but very difficult. The thing that I hate the most about this game had to be fighting the skeletons. Talk about cheap and brutal enemies. Far too many lives were wasted fighting them. I also didn't like how they changed the final boss from Death Adder to Death Bringer. That didn't make much sense, plus Death Bringer was insanely hard and very aggravating, like toss your controller at your relatives angry. Ugh! Alright, time for the good aspect. Now, as challenging as this game may be, it's still a lot of fun. I liked how throughout the levels, little thieves drop food and magic for you to store up on. Right now, I want to teach you guys a little trick I use to get a good score in this game, and fighting two guys at the same time without getting hit. To do this, put your character in the middle and attack left and right very quickly. Also, when fighting a charging enemy, always remember to walk down away from their charge. That way you can attack them right away. Just remember the trick I taught you doesn't work against the skeletons. They're pryingly fast for dead guys. The magic in this game just plain rocks. But playing this game with two people is where this game really is at, and really adds to hours of fun. However, please be warned that your partner can attack you as much as you want, so try to stay out of each other's way, or you two will end up killing one another half the time. So, if you guys really want to fight to the death, then I suggest duking it out in the duel mode. Well, I enjoy sharing this game with you guys. It's a fun arcade port, and you can't go wrong with the gameplay or the co-op play. This game may be a problem for some of you. In any case, I suggest adding this to your Wii collection. Golden Axe gets a 7 out of 10. It's a great arcade port. The next review will be Icarus, a cult favorite, and Pit's rise to fame. Well, that does it for me, gamers. God bless and happy gaming. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe.